Keep it real and be yourself. Let's get into this video. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about finding who you are and finding your purpose in life. Now, these are two of the hardest things you will have to come across in your whole entire life. And this is because of the finding your purpose, right? Finding what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're asked that question every single time there's like a high point in your life. And by high point, I mean when you're 18. You know what I'm saying? So to get that question, when you're 18 to like 21, that question is just bam, 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 grandma, grandpa. That's the only question in their vocabulary. Auntie, uncle, anyone like your mom, your dad. That's all they ask. What you finna do? What's your plan for the future? All that stuff. Oh, what are you gonna do after you graduate? You know what I'm saying? So that's why. Because 18 is around that time you graduate from high school, and then like 22 is around that time you graduate from college. And after those times, like, you got to figure it out, right? You start to become an adult, starting to get older, responsibility, yay. So that being said, finding your purpose is something that's asked all the time, from your family, people that care about you, or just people that don't know what to talk about and they just bring it up. You know, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying, in your life, just to fill in the gap. So this question everybody knows about, and everybody's asked, and everyone stresses about it, especially in my generation. Like, not everyone knows what to do, mostly because everyone's having fun and trying to enjoy their life, which is reasonable. All our life we've been told, yo, enjoy your 20s, you know, live it up, stay a kid as long as possible. Like, we've been influenced to think that way, so it makes sense. So, but then we get to a point where it's like, now we're just 22 or like 18 to however old you want to go, 18 to like 25. And all we're doing is really stacking bread. We stacking bread for no reason other than we know we need bread. And the main problem with that is it doesn't give us time to find those two things, find our purpose and find who we are. And we have to find those two things in between the points where we're trying to just make bread and stack bread. But to find who you are, the best time to do it is in time of solitude, time by yourself, time without like consuming like things on the internet like YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and any social media. Like, the best time to understand who you are is when the world goes silent around you. Because when the world goes silent around you, the only thing you're left with is your thoughts, you know? And when it's just you and your thoughts, you just start to have a conversation, right? Start to have a conversation about whatever is meaningful to you. You know, it might be, you know, and it can change for anyone, right? But it's that inner dialogue that creates that connection. It's the same thing as me and a new friend and having a conversation with them and trying to see like how their day is going. You know what I'm saying? What made them happy. It's the same thing, that how you treat others is the same way you treat yourself. So if you treat others awfully, you probably treat yourself awfully. So when you have that inner dialogue, you also see how you treat yourself. How do you talk to yourself? Do you lift yourself up? Do you focus on what you want to focus on? Or do you kind of like bull in and you get off topic? Or do you try and, you know what I'm saying, like you're on drugs, like you're on withdrawal and you're just like, I gotta get on the internet, I gotta watch a YouTube video or something, some dopamine here, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, you know, whatever that is. So finding who you are is really difficult because most people aren't alone. Most people don't have time to cancel out all the noise. They either want to be with someone, right? Someone in their presence, or they might just have someone in their presence automatically, but also they might just be on the internet, right? The internet can take all your time away. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, go on, just like that. So you have to be purposeful with trying to find who you are. Because if you try and do it on a whim, you will find who you are, but it might not be the person you truly want to be. right? It might just be someone that's been molded by their environment. And maybe you don't want to be that person that's molded by your environment. Maybe you want more for yourself. And when you want more for yourself, that means you have to change. And when you have to change, you have to change who you are. So that goes into now, instead of the environment molding who you are, you yourself mold who you are and push yourself in a direction rather than being pushed by other factors outside of yourself, right? And then with your purpose, bro, your purpose is just whatever you, that who you are factor, whatever you connect to the most. So if you want money and you want money to give to the people you care about, and you love nature, like there's so many factors that comes in, and those factors will align you or push you towards whatever you want to do, right? If you are more like funny and goofy, but you want to stack bread up, and you're willing to like invest your time into whatever craft you want, then you might lean on like entertainment like YouTube or something. But maybe you're super athletic and you've been playing a sport and you really want money, so then you might lean on getting like a job at McDonald's just for now, but on the back end you're trying to go pro in the sport. Or maybe you're trying to be more into the business because your parents are really into the business and they business world, and you really enjoy it. But maybe you go into factors of who you are and you're like, I want to go a different route, right? So that's why it's important to know who you are, because if you don't, you'll be influenced by them not knowing you didn't want to do that. That's not the purpose you want. So then going off road, now you're going on a road that doesn't align with the purpose you want, and you're going down a road that doesn't align with who you are, because you're allowing other things outside of yourself guide you into a world you don't even really want to go in. So that's the importance of knowing who you are and your purpose, so you know what road you want to go down, right? And you want to know who's going down that road. That who factor is very important, because we're all unique. We've all had different scenarios that made us who we are, but we can now have the power to lead ourselves into scenarios that are going to get us closer to our purpose, but also build us up into who we want to be for the future, for our kids, for ourselves, for our parents, for the people around us, right? Because if you really want to make an impact on the world, well, that can be also different, because you might not want to make an impact on the world. You might want to make an impact just for the people around you. So that's why it's so important, because everything is a preference, and that preference depends on you. But if you don't know who you are, you won't know what you prefer. But there's also other things where you might not be able to stand up for what you want and what you prefer. So you stay silent and you let the world, again, God push you into wherever you want to go to. So that's the importance. You really got to find those two things out. Now, if you want me to help you find those two things out, or you're curious, or you want me to make a video more specific, just put a comment down below. I'll get on to it. But remember, don't just be, stay optimistic. Have a great day. Peace.